Now, Sports Talk with Broads. Here's Hunter Brody.
Ew. The Flyers are so nasty. They are now tied with the Washington Capitals in first place of the Metropolitan. Now, technically, I understand the Caps are still in first place due to the tiebreak, which is crazy to me that head-to-head isn't the tiebreaker because that would make the most sense, but of course not. Listen, I don't care if technically they're not in first. All I care about is when you look at the points, it is tied at this very moment, and just the fact that that is the situation we are discussing right now is what makes me so happy. So the Flyers beat the Carolina Hurricanes 4-1 on the second half of a back-to-back. Back in the day, maybe earlier this season, I would have been concerned about this game, questioning if this would be an emotional letdown, questioning if they would be so tired based off of the effort they gave in Washington, D.C. the night before. But I know that this team is consistent and that they would come out and they would handle business. And that's exactly what they did. Carter Hart in between the pipes. The kid is so special. Here is his home record, 19-2-2 with a save percentage of .942, okay? And he's also giving up 1.64 goals against at the Wells Fargo Center. He was great when he needed to be great, and I love watching the kid compete in between the pipes. It's so special to watch. He was a key factor in this game, and so was scoring depth. Losing JVR, that was a big conversation. It looks like it's more of a finger than it is the hand itself, which is good news, I guess, but it looks like the timetable will be about 4 to 6 weeks. I was concerned about the scoring depth, but this team showed me, listen, JVR is a great player, but we can plug and play. And Joel Farabee actually cracked the top 6 minutes because Alain Vigneault talked about how when he called him back up, he wants to put him in a position to succeed. So Scott Laughton took that third line role. This team can plug and play, and you're watching it every single night. Now, we need to talk about my promo code, BROADS at SeatGeek, before we move on. But wow, is this team awesome to watch every single night, every night. So get yourself to a game. Use the promo code BROADS at SeatGeek's checkout. You save $20, which is free parking if you go to Jetro. It's a no-brainer. Use the promo code BROADS today. The first period, I thought that there were moments where Carolina worked the puck around in the offensive zone. They did keep the puck by the perimeter. It wasn't as if they were getting grade A scoring chance after grade A scoring chance, but there were some shifts where you saw some tired Flyers in the zone, and the Hurricanes' first line definitely created some noise and just worked the puck around, which kept the Flyers, going from one position to the net front, back to the corner, to the net front, back to the corner, and working the Flyers as a whole, but it didn't matter. They didn't score on those plays. It just looked like the Flyers maybe didn't have their legs underneath of them, while Carolina had a couple days off and they were able to get going. By the way, Carolina is destroyed on the back end. They don't have their two netminders. We all know about how they put in a 42-year-old Zamboni driver to beat the Maple Leafs, so that was an incredible story. We know where they are when it comes to netminding, and I think that was a pretty big part of this game, because at the end of the first period, here comes Ivan Provorov, who is coming, hold on, just like last game, coming in waves, right? Here it comes. Here comes our scoring. Here comes our defenseman joining the rush. And by the way, if you look at the statistics, the Flyers defense, they're phenomenal when it comes to producing points and scoring goals. But I digress. Here comes Ivan Provorov, who gets the puck in a grade A scoring chance. He throws a biscuit on net. Here comes the rebound that just pops right out to him, and he puts it in for a 1-0 lead right before the first period ends. Now, if this was a legitimate starting goalie in the NHL, I don't know if that juicy rebound would have been there for him, but listen, that was the circumstance in this game, and the Flyers have to execute on that. You have Grant getting the assist, you have Scott Laughton getting the assist, and how about Grant? This guy makes nothing, and I actually got criticized when I tweeted about the acquisitions, Nate Thompson and Derek Grant. I said this was terrific. It was terrific. Yes, it was, based off of the circumstances, based off of where the Flyers were when it came to cap space at that time. You're getting a guy who can play center, who can play wing, who was a veteran presence, and I'm talking about Derek Grant. When it comes to Nate Thompson, he brings another element to the table. But he was great in this game too. Blocking shots. Getting on the score sheet as well. When you look at the two acquisitions at the trade deadline, wow, did they really perform? And have they been since they got here? Yes, the answer is clearly yes. Here goes the second period. Laughton, Pitlick, Raffl, bang, 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 2-0. Beautiful puck movement. It starts from the D zone. The boys transition up the ice. They're moving the puck easily on each other's sticks. Bang, bang, bang. They know where everyone's going to be at the same time. And I'm talking about this third line. And I mentioned how you have JVR moved off that left wing because of the injury, and Scott Laughton gets thrown in there. Like, Scott Laughton. It could have been Joel Farabee. And who knows, that play could have still happened with Farabee on the left side. My point is, Alain Vigneault is pushing all the right buttons and putting players in the right positions, and it's working out almost every single time. We can date this back to the first game of the back-to-back in Washington, D.C. Brian Elliott gets the nod. A lot of fans are a little upset. They want to see Carter Hart in a big moment. They know that he hasn't been great on the road. So here's an opportunity after winning a game in Madison Square Garden. Why not? Right? Why not? But Alain Vigneault puts in the veteran, puts in Brian Elliott, and they win. So it clearly worked. He understands his team, and this was a move that stands out to me when you look at where he put Farabee, where he put Laughton, and it worked in this game as Scott Laughton is on the score sheet more than once. It's incredible what Alain Vigneault does and how smart he is when it comes to understanding his team and knowing how these players are gelling right now. Third period. Justin Williams scores a goal. And this was so fluky. Of course, it's Justin Williams, right? Mr. Game 7. I thought the guy would retire, but he ended up coming back to the Hurricanes throughout this season. It looks like they might be just gonna come up short when it comes to the postseason, although who knows what's going to happen in that wild card spot, and the couple teams right out and the couple teams in. It has become a big mess and a big group of teams just really battling it out until the very end. When you look at Justin Williams, though, and how he scored this goal, the way the puck got into the zone, it looked like it could have been offsides. It looked like a couple of the Flyers could have poke-checked the puck away, but it was bouncing all over the place, and it was just a fluky goal. It was weird. It was odd. I don't think they really deserved it. I don't think the Flyers played it poorly. The puck luck was clearly on the other team's side, and they found a way to put it past Carter Hart to make it 2-1. But here's the thing that I talk about when it comes to consistency with the orange and the black. We saw the same thing happen against the Caps. We've seen it happen for a while now. When something occurs, right, when the other team scores a goal to crack into the lead, or they make it a 1-goal lead instead of a 2-goal lead, right, the other team finds a way to score. What do the Flyers do? They answer. They respond. And when you look at what happened, now the puck, we just talked about puck luck. The puck luck was on the Flyers side here as Nate Thompson picks it up, throws it net front. Aube-kubel gets it. He's by the goal line. He throws it on net. It hits off the goalie and goes in from a weird angle. And when things are right, things really go right. And that was clearly a situation where that is the case. But the point is, the Flyers responded instantly. You get your depth scoring going. You got your fourth line on the board. As soon as the Canes found a way to crack into the lead. I mean, it's phenomenal what this team does. They don't get down on themselves. They don't make mistakes. They don't get all worried and start throwing the puck around, and they're not on the back of their heels. No. They just attack. They get back to business. They do the simple things. They get their forecheck going. The forecheck is so fast. They get on guys. This game was physical from both sides of the ice when it comes to the forechecking and also in the D zone. I saw Robert Haig throwing a couple mean hits specifically early. Aube-kubel getting in there. I mean, the boys were throwing around the bodies. It got tough. It got brutal out there. Not as much as it did the night prior, but I think it's because of where the Hurricanes are. They feel the need that they got to make a statement. They got to fight and scratch for every point that they possibly can get going into Philadelphia, where the Flyers are clearly red hot, when this team is clearly clicking as a squad to a full effect. I think the Canes knew that, so they brought the energy, they brought the physicality, but the Flyers clearly matched that as well. They were able to reach that intensity and more, and that's why they came out on top. So when it was 3-1, the boys continued to do their thing. Claude Giroux with an incredible stop at the blue line. Keeps it in the zone, in the offensive zone. It gets down low. Voracek is banging away in the crease, and it finds Couturier's stick for a 4-1 lead. And that's where it ultimately ended. Now, Carter Hart made some saves as Carolina came and threw some shots on net, and they came with some buzz later in the third period, and that's clearly going to happen. But Carter Hart came up big in some key spots, making some grade A saves when people are left open in the slot or where they get a nice cross-crease pass. Here he comes, pushing from post to post. It was great. It was a great watch. So, Provorov, are you serious with this kid? He is so damn good. And it's so hard to even think about what he was last season because it was so ugly. If you remember last season at all, which I know we all try and get out of our heads because it was a season to forget, Ivan Provorov was so abysmal last season. It was concerning talking about his contract for this year. Just like Travis Konechny and him holding out, Ivan Provorov went through a process, not as long as TK's, but he went through a process. We didn't know what to expect from Provorov, but you get Matt Niskanen in the mix, and it has been a great security blanket for the young defenseman. He feels more confident out there. He doesn't mind joining the rush because he understands that Matt Niskanen is a guy who has a ton of experience, who will stay back, who will be able to defend if something does go wrong. Because of Matt Niskanen's presence out there, and not just on the ice, but off the ice, I'm sure when it comes to film and everything else when it comes to just being a professional, Ivan Provorov is thriving based off of the veteran presence on the D court. Justin Braun, I'm sure, is doing the same thing, even though they are not D partners. Ivan Provorov was a stud in this game. Let's get to Joel Farabee because he got thrown into the mix once again, and I thought he had some good chances. He got robbed a few times. He had one where he was right in the slot, and the goaltender made a really nice save. And there was another one where he was going back door, a great pass, cross crease, and he wasn't able to execute there, but he had scoring chances. He was playing with speed. You can see his energy was there. He played a good game. He just wasn't able to actually put the puck behind the goalie, and hopefully that will come as he continues to play, because I thought he was strong. He was noticeable. He caught my eye a few times, and he made some plays. It just came down to, maybe he's pressing too hard. Maybe he's so, I don't know. I'm not going to go as far as say nervous, but maybe he's just grabbing the twig tightly, knowing that he has to fulfill a big role, knowing where he is right now in the lineup. If he was able to score, it would be a big statement, especially in the first game back. So he's grabbing on that stick just a little too tightly. If a couple games get under his belt again and he gets back into the rhythm, and it'll just come to him naturally, the hands will become a little looser, so he'll be able to find the twine. That Rangers game was crazy, and I bring that Rangers game up because they played the Capitals, and it was goal after goal after goal after goal. Zibanejad gets 5 goals. Alexander Ovechkin scores late to force it to overtime. Flyers fans really needed the Rangers to win that game in regulation to give the Flyers the full-on possession for first place. We know that did not happen by now, but that game was just so wild, so crazy, so entertaining. And just the fact that, as I stated from the top, that the Flyers are even in this conversation. Oh, well, they're not really in first place. They're in second because of the tiebreaker. Okay, well, if they continue to play this way, then they will take care of business themselves. All right, it'll all work out. Just the fact that this conversation's even happening, that puts the smile on my face. That's all that truly matters. I mean, I'm rocking the Flyers jersey again because they deserve it. The same Flyers, Jay. It's going on. Afterwards, after the game, you can follow me on Twitter at Broads81. I'm going crazy. I got the Feel the Shake song going on, and I'm dancing, going nuts in my recording studio because that's how much excitement I have for this squad right now. The Sixers played at 10, and I love watching the Sixers. They are a tough watch this season and a tough watch right now. It was hard for me to really get in that game just based off the adrenaline I had from the Fly Guys winning 8 straight games. It was hard for me to dial in and get engaged. Now, eventually I did as the game went on, but early first quarter, even early second quarter, I'm still going. My blood's still boiling and my heart's still beating just watching what's going on with the Flyers on Twitter and things like that because they're just that exciting. Everyone's talking about them. Now they're getting recognition from the NHL Network, NBC Sports. They're talking about this magical ride that this Flyer squad is on, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful to see this team getting recognized. Travis Konechny, Sean Couturier. And you know what? We've been bothered by Jake Voracek. Even Voracek has been on another level. And let's talk about Claude Giroux because he's been getting so much hate. You get a guy, not this season, just talking about Claude Giroux and not being able to win a Stanley Cup. He's the worst leader in the world, stripped to see. You bring in a new head coach. You bring in a new GM, and it's a totally different outlook on the organization. You got the captain in the room buying in. And it all starts there. He's bought in. He has everybody else bought in. And he has been a legitimate leader this season. He has provided so much for this team, not just on the ice and what he brings to the table work ethic-wise and things like that, scoring goals, the power play. He also brings it in the room, and the buy-in factor is so strong when it comes to him and Alain Vigneault. It is rubbing off to every single player on the team. And you know what else is great? The personality. You have personality. Travis Konechny, the pest that he is, chirping all the time. Kevin Hayes, he's one hell of a personality in the locker room and even outside to the media. You see a little bit of his, I was going to say funniness, but when he's mic'd up and the Flyers put stuff out on their social media pages, when it's 80s night and he's skating around in warm-ups, asking players about, well, why did Alain Vigneault's iPod make the pregame playlist? Just things like that. You can relate to these players. Scott Laughton chirping, their style of play. You can relate to it. And you haven't seen that over the last however many years when it comes to the squad. All right. So, let's hit the 24/7 Anytime Hotline. The phone number, 856-442-9805. You can call in at any time.
Yo, bros. Loving the shows, man. We keep getting better and better. Keep up the fantastic work, bro. Yo, just watching this Flyers Carolina game. Crazy right now, man. This Flyer team just looks so good. Someone just got laid out. Dude, this is amazing. Like, watching the Flyers is exciting. I haven't felt this way watching the Flyers in a very long time, man. I'm loving it. Hopefully they just keep up this pressure, and we should easily win this game. All right, take it easy.
Thank you very much. That seemed like an in-game call, of course, and we know they did win the game. The one thing he stated that really stands out to me is the excitement around this team. There are people out there who follow basketball, they follow football and the Eagles and the Phillies, of course, but Flyers, not everyone follows the Flyers to this insane degree, and I understand that. That's been a hot topic around Philadelphia sports radio over the last few days is, are you allowed to jump on the bandwagon? And absolutely, I don't expect people to watch the Flyers every single night like the diehard diehard Flyers fans do. It just actually doesn't make sense when you break it down logically. It doesn't bother me. They're playing hot right now. Jump on in. Come enjoy the ride. Maybe you witness good hockey. It'll get you involved in watching hockey. It'll get you going, and you'll start watching the Flyers a lot more. I'm all for it. You talk about the excitement. It's getting the city and the fans, the casual fans, and even the fans that aren't even casual, just, hey, I like Philly sports fans, but I'm not going to dive in too heavily. It's getting everyone watching. Their eyes are on the Flyers. And that's what this has really come to, and it couldn't make me any more happy to see. It couldn't make me happier to see that happening around the city.
Yo, bro, it's first-time caller, Rich from Western New York. This Flyers team I'm almost scared to think of what they could accomplish because I just don't want to get my heart broke again. But this team is like one I've never seen, and I mean, I'm a lifelong Flyers fan. But there's something different about this team. And the thing is, they're on an 8-game winning streak, but they're not beating teams in shootouts or overtime or there's nothing fluke. They're just beating them from start to finish. I mean, 5-2, 4-1. There's no nail biters. I mean, that just tells you the level of talent, young and to old. It's just the chemistry. I don't know. I think it's all come together. And like I said, I'm really guarded to think, that we could actually do it. But, man, they are so fun to watch.
They really are so fun to watch. Now, the heartbroken comment is something that is very interesting to me because I thought about this driving home today as well when it came to the Flyers season. Now that they are playing this way, and everyone's talking about, well, they are a contender. Well, they can compete. And in the NHL, it's a lot different than the NBA. If you have an NBA Finals type team, you know you have an NBA Finals type team. Don't get me wrong, are the Bruins a Stanley Cup type squad? Of course. Tampa Bay, you would think so, although based off of what happened last year in the postseason, you don't really know. My point is with hockey, anyone can win, and the Flyers are at least in the mix with any other team that can win. They have that type of squad. I mean, look at the St. Louis Blues last year. You just never know, but they at least have the same percentage as anybody else when it comes to the talent at the top of the league. That's what makes me excited. But expectations change a lot. It really does. And if you go into the postseason with a different vibe compared to saying, well, this is house money, it can totally change the outcome of the thought process of the season, if that makes sense. If they go out in the first round, but they go 6 games and they don't advance, and going into the postseason, you thought differently than, say, you did 2 weeks ago, it can change. You don't want to get too heavily invested because you just don't know if this is sustainable. I get it. But at the same time, they are playing this way. They are consistent. They are doing it on a nightly basis. They're beating all the teams they're supposed to. They're showing the same effort every night. At some point, do you have to let it sink in that this is the team and this team is capable of really getting it done? You need to find the mix of, not getting way too overboard and demanding a Stanley Cup and saying, well, this team is good enough to legitimately compete with the top teams in the league. You see it with their winning record against those type of squads.
I'm watching the Flyers game. They're up 4-1. They give up a goal, baby. And then they scored 2 goals in 26 seconds. This Flyers team is amazing. I'm so pumped. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Stanley Cup, here we come. Love what you do, by the way, bros. I love you, bro. Take care. Let's go, Flyers, baby.
Let's go. Let's go. Listen to the joy. Listen to the joy. That was an incredible, incredible call. How about that? He brought up one thing that really stood out to me in this game that I mentioned earlier on. They give up a goal, and what do? Bang, bang, respond twice. Come on now. Come on.
Hey, Broads, I'm calling from Virginia, and I'm a big fan of the show. Just got done watching the Flyers play the Hurricanes. Great game. Not sure on the Capitals game yet. I'm not over at the time I'm recording this. But really excited to see if we can take first place. And really excited how this team can go when it comes to postseason time. Big fan of the show. Thanks for taking my call.
Absolutely. Thank you for calling it. This team is just so much fun. So much fun. And you know what? Earlier, they were getting it done, but it wasn't the same way. They were winning games, but it didn't have this look. And they finally gelled to the point where they look insane. The best way to describe it is insane. People do not want to see the Flyers on their schedule. What we've seen teams do to the Flyers over the years when they go into their building and when they play at home, like what teams did to the Flyers over the years, we are now doing it to them. And it feels so much better this way. I prefer it. I prefer this. This is so great. I'm not going to be able to sleep. I woke up this morning, and when I say this, clearly this game did not occur. The Flyers-Canes game, the last game was Flyers-Capitals. I was making my coffee. I put on my TV. I put on YouTube. I put on Flyers-Capitals extended highlights. I was sipping my coffee, watching the highlights, enjoying it, just embracing the fact that Carolina had no shot to go into the Wells Fargo Center and beating the Flyers. They had no shot. Knowing Carter Hart was in the net, they didn't stand a chance. And guess what? It came out that way. You know why? Because we can expect the Flyers to win on a nightly basis. They are that great of a hockey team. They have a phenomenal chance of beating their opponent every single night they step on that ice. And they're still getting depth scoring, even with JVR out. And you look at everyone, Nicholas Aube-Kubel, Nate Thompson, Scott Laughton, Kevin Hayes, Pitlick, Raffl. What about Raffl's night? When do they play next? Saturday against Buffalo? I'm itching. I'm itching for that game. Can it please be tomorrow? They don't need a night off. I need more Flyers hockey. Have them play every single night until the playoffs. I don't care. I need to see it. I need my fix. It's too beautiful. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. And I will see you next time.